All right. Sorry about that massive delay. There was some issues getting players into lobbies, but it is all taken care of. We are actually not going to be casting What Would Popples Do versus Killing Dominion. We're actually going to cast Clueless versus Destro. All right, and we are into Champ Select, so let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Alright, so we do have Champ Select rocking and rolling.
We have Zyra and Karma being the first two bands coming out.
Yep, Zyra, as you saw in that last game, was incredibly scary, so very wise to get her banned out. And Karma being a very strong support. She builds that full AP, so her spells actually hurt quite a bit. Shields are massive, you know, she can heal a lot, heal herself a lot, which is very scary actually, and just has that good lockdown, so very nice to get that off the table as well. And then the Maokai ban coming out, getting rid of that #1 tree on the map.
The Talon band coming out from Clueless. Clueless taking second place in the last Azubu Crystal Club. And we have Destro on the purple team. These are some, for the first time, some fairly standard bans, some teams that have been around or have played a very decent amount of Dominion in their day.
Yeah, they've played a lot of Dominion. I mean, you could see names like Cercio's been here a long time. You guys know Gander, he's one of the casters that sometimes casts with us. Stormfallen, Dens Bruja, they're all players who've been around a long time. And then, of course, Clueless, everyone knows, everyone loves them. So Destro has quite a few Dominion veterans on their team, so we'll see how it goes.
You haven't been around a while, you know, Clueless has Half-Hearted, who's generally a mage player, who also, you know, plays Urgot. You have Parkhurst, who is the person who will always tell you to build Frozen Mallet and Wits In on every single champion in the game.
Every single champion.
The proprietor of Frozen Mallet, Wits In, Kog'Maw. You have Half-Hearted locking in the Kha'Zix, first pick, has stealth, has an incredible amount of burst damage. They nerfed it and took away his damage reduction from his R, but he didn't have it before, and he was still top tier then, and that's what people generally forget about that champion. He's incredibly strong, does way too much damage on targets in isolation, and can be built for poke, and just has a 1000 range gap closer. All around, very, very strong champion.
Yeah, if you ever meet that Kha'Zix 1v1, chances are you are going to die. So when you're trying to do that roam on Dominion and you've got that Kha'Zix that runs into you, he's like, sup, and just gets completely demolished. So we're seeing a Gangplank highlight. I'm pretty sure this is not going to go through. I think Cercio is just highlighting a champion. Yeah, there we go. Jarvan+Leona, very powerful combo. The initiation power from both of these champions coming in and hitting your face, it hurts quite a bit.
Generally regarded as one of the stronger front lines. It comes with good physical, good magic damage. You can build a bulky Jarvan, or you can go for a more glassy Jarvan, deal a significant amount of damage to pretty much every target you want. He has very, very good R-Pin, which synergizes with the other AD that you're going to pick up for top lane, and in proc Sunlight fairly decently if you opt to get a Hydra, or you can just have your mage do it with whatever AoE spells that they come with.
Indeed, indeed. And it looks like Brown Bruiser are going to be picking up the Wukong. He's saying, you know what, if you guys want to come into me, I'll be waiting with the Cyclone, ready to go. Let's get that blender up and running. And let's see what a Parkhurst is going to pick. I really think what this is going to be is Half-Hearted is going to try to be getting into the back lines with that Kha'Zix and blowing up whatever squishy mage is chilling back there. And then Bruiser, along with another champion that they're going to pick up, is going to be kind of the anti-front line. And that looks like a Morgana.
Morgana, very solid champion. Black Shield is very, very strong. Stops all the CC from the Leona Jarvan combo from affecting the targets that you put it on. It lets them pretty much go on an unimpeded rampage. She also comes with a bind, which is very, very good at you just toss it out there. If it hits, you can go. If it doesn't, well, it's going to be up in a couple seconds. It's not the most important ability to keep, and, you know, it's very, very good for pick comps and very, very good for just locking one target down in a team fight. She also comes with Soul Shackles, which is one of the best anti-initiates in the game, so the amount of zone control coming out from Team Clueless is very, very high right now. You have Wukong, who just covers the space around him wherever he may be, and we also have Morgana, which covers the space around her, and you just don't really want to go, you don't really want to be around them.
Yeah, going into that is very, very deadly. And now the big thing here is, what is the fourth pick going to be for Clueless's top lane comp? I'm expecting a a Brand or an Orianna, something to sit behind that mid line essentially, and just start blowing stuff up. And it looks like we are going to have a Xin Zhao and Brand picked up though for Destro. So very nice taking away that Brand from them. And that is quite a wombo they do have as well. They do have the Brand, the Jarvan, and the Leona. That is a lot of lockdown into a small space with that Brand AoE flying at you. Just need to be careful with the Xin Zhao when he ults that he doesn't ult everyone, too far away. Oh, and Ro4 is highlighting Gnar, but I know it's not allowed.
I don't know if he knows it's not allowed. I'm very surprised that they went with the Xin Zhao of all the AD bruisers that are currently available. I feel like he's the one who has the least synergy with the current comp that they have. I feel like Jace or an Ezreal could have been a very, very good pickup here. I feel like they could have picked up Yasuo, but they do opt to go with a Xin Zhao, and we'll see how it does. Xin Zhao is generally considered a very sub-optimal bruiser, especially with Vi still being in the roster. Generally considered just all-around better at everything champion than Xin Zhao, but we'll see what Gander does on him. So you see Ro4 playing Diana and Bibipop locking in his Elise.
Elise. Well, we did see some very, very interesting stuff from him the last time he played Elise in the Azubu Cup. He had some very big kills on important targets with those BFT combos. So we'll see if he can bring that Elise back again. He also took, I think, like 7 to 8 ultimates and just didn't get hit by them because of the repel. And just forced so many of them.
This is a very C9-esque comp coming out from Clueless. Where C9 would have Trundle, they currently have, Wukong. You have the general, you have Cocoon into Morgana bind as the general initiates in the CC. You have Kha'Zix coming in on the side, which would be like Hai coming around on his Yasuo, and you have the Wukong running interference. This is very, very solid all-around comp. Has decent poke, very good burst damage, very good initiate, and very good pick. And we see Jax coming in for GG Doublelift as the last pick. Probably, I would imagine, going into the bottom lane with that against Diana.
Yeah, Jax is a very good pick against Diana. He just, when Diana tries to all in, Jax is like, cool, that's exactly what I wanted. Now I don't have to leap out to you. So he can just sit there and beat on her. It's still somewhat of a skill matchup. It's not like a complete hard counter. Like, you need to know how to play Jax before you attempt to let that Diana jump on you. But we'll see how it goes for him.
I think that lane is generally 65-35 in favor of Diana, but Ro4's going to opt for a barrier and not an exhaust, which is going to be very, very interesting. I think he believes he's up against the Brand in the bottom lane, because those are very, very good summoners to go up against Brand, and if he indeed is right, it's going to make that matchup a lot easier for him. But the inverse, if that Jax goes bottom lane, I think he's going to lose.
Yeah, that'll be very difficult. Not having that 50% or 40% cut on the Jax's damage when you're sitting there trying to fight him is going to hurt a lot.
Generally, Diana, though, in the pre-level 12, and pre-level 12 doesn't really have any problems with Jax, but if she doesn't have around 2 to 3 kills by the time he hits that point, she just starts to outscale.
Yep. Alright, we are into our countdown, so we can turn off the summoner blockers. We can talk about these summoner spells now. Looking pretty interesting on both sides here.
We've got standard 4 exhausts coming out from Clueless, 1 ignite, but the homage to the old school way of playing the minion, you always picked up that 1 ignite.
And Destro looking to be taking all 5 exhausts, or 4 exhausts, 1 ignite. Jax is going to be taking the barrier, and Leona will be taking a heal, which totally okay with on frontline fighters, is them bringing that heal with them.
We see Hafe adopting what I have been doing for the past 2 months. He's opting to get cleanse on his bruisers because he knows Leona stun, Solar Flare, very annoying. Brand has his stun, very, very annoying to deal with. They're not very knock-up heavy, they're just stun heavy, so I really approve of this cleanse pickup on Kha'Zix because he knows they're going to be looking out for him. And the only reason I would opt to not get it is, like, you generally get cleanse when you don't have a Morgana, but when you have a Morgana and you can put like Faith and that fellow player on your team, you can generally opt to get Flash or whatever other summon you want, but still opting to get cleanse, so he might not have the most faith in a Parkhurst. I know I played for Clueless last week, Faith was like, I've never seen a Parkhurst play Morgana before. So we'll see how they end up having their team synergy here today and what's going to go on in this team later in this matchup.
Yeah, never playing with a Parkhurst Morg. I actually haven't seen him play Morgana either, so this is my first time experiencing his Morgana, so we'll see if it's actually as up to par, or if Hafe was correct in bringing that cleanse along.
Now, Fancy Wolf, is this a best of one or a best of three series?
This is a best of three. We are in the semifinals right now, so it is going to be a best of three match. So we'll see what happens in the game. We'll see how the teams decide to adapt into the next game, depending on if they won or lost, if they want to switch up their picks, change their bans. I'm really a big fan of best of threes or best of fives because with the best of one, it's more, okay, we got a decent pick. Or, you know, like, we get to draft, our draft is done, did we do a good job? No, we lose. And with the best of threes and best of fives, you have that, okay, we sucked at our draft, this is what will change, this is what they like to pick, and it gives you that time to think and kind of come back at your opponent again.
I don't. There's only been two instances best of fives in the entire tournament history of Dominion, correct?
I think so? Quite possibly.
Those are a very, very rare thing to see. But I do like best of fives for determining the other, best team of an era.
Well, maybe in some of our community-run tournaments we can get some best of fives going in the finals. Have some super brawls to see which team can duke it out the longest.
I can't say I would agree on best of fives for weeklies. I think best of fives should be reserved for monthlies or seasonal.
Yeah, that could work. Alright, and we are getting loaded into this game here. This is going to be Clueless on the top here versus Destro on the bottom. Clueless being long-time Dominion team and putting up quite a few second place finishes throughout their career. And Destro, just a lot of really solid Dominion players throwing together a team for the tournament. So we will see how they do.
And we have Mando, Jarvan. We have just 5 skins on each team. Everybody sporting their best duds for this game match.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it. And that new Commando Jarvan art is really sweet, I have to say.
I absolutely love what they've been doing with the old skins, giving them the revamps coming into as we come up upon Season 4, is it now? Or is we coming up to Season 5 for League of Legends?
Oh gosh, I'm pretty sure it's Season 5.
Woo,
Yeah.
time flies.
Yep. Alright. We are loaded in this game, ready to go.
It does indeed seem like Double F is going to go bottom with his Jax. We have Gander being crazy right now, buying a Wicked Hatchet. We'll see if that gets refunded or if he is going to be the manliest Xin Zhao in the world today.
That Wicked Hatchet start. That is
Now,
very risky.
We do see Cersei over here on Leona opting for a different, more degree Leona build, going raw Candle Gem and the Ruby Crystal. This gives you 10 more, 10% early game CDR in exchange for a substantial amount of health regen and auto attack reduction damage from the door and shield. It does let you get a Spirit Visage much earlier, and there is a decent amount of magic damage coming out from Clueless's team, but I do not believe in the start of Kindle Gem Ruby Crystal for the Jarvan. I do believe Jarvan should always opt for a Pre-Blade.
Yeah, the Pro Blade start is kind of invaluable on him. It gives you a lot of extra health, that 150. It gives you the attack speed, which is always useful whether you're going Assassin Jarvan or Tank Jarvan. Attack speed is an invaluable stat, even if you're not stacking it. But we'll see how this goes. The game is getting started. It looks like Ro4 did opt to go for a cloth armor for that bot lane against the Jax matchup. That is a very wise decision. He knows he's boots are not really going to help him out too much in that fight, so might as well get the cloth armor. So when the brawl does happen, he will be ready to go.
Have Stormfallen opting for the cheeky out of vision Pillar of Flame, but didn't have enough move speed to catch anybody with it on the fly.
Bot lane is already getting into it. That cloth armor doing some work, but not quite giving everything he needs there. Well, the exhaust coming in. He's right in the middle of the minions. If he hits them, those minions are going to turn. Oh, these bot lane matchups.
Meanwhile, in top lane, we just see Clueless coming out on the better end of the poke for us. We saw Stormfallen miss a couple bit of key skill shots and still just hasn't hit a Pillar of Flame the whole time. We do see Cersei going in with the Zenith Blade, and we have Din's Bruja on the side trying to get Hafe. We have Gander coming over the wall. It looks like Hafe is going to opt to fall first. As we see... Ooh, We're gonna have Dennis Bruja go down. Brown Bruiser trying to get Gander, and it looks like Clueless is just gonna mop the end of this up, but not before getting down Bebepop.
They
And
are
maybe
going to
it
get
won't be
Mimited.
that easy. Stormfallen is but if they manage to auto attack Brown Bruiser down, it'll just be a battle between a Morgana and the rest of them. And Morg does not really have the damage to pull this out by herself.
No, she does not. A good binding will deal quite a bit of damage, but she just doesn't have that AP quite yet. Or those BFT, the CDR to keep him going, and down she goes.
We did have one person on Clueless bothering to pop up revive. No, and that would be Wolfer in the bottom lane. He did end up going down the double lift.
Yeah, and we did have Jarvan pop his revive, kind of as a safety net in case someone else did, but no one really did there, so he is okay. But he's going to be able to try and scout out the jungle here while his team goes B, buys, heals up, gets ready for that next fight.
And while we have some time to talk, as we see Hayfarted coming down for a gank on bottom lane, it's really worth noting that you never want to pick up the cloth armor in a fight that you can't fight with at even 3-6, as we see Hayf jump over the wall in the double lift. Double lift going to channel his counter-strike, opt to not jump away during that amount of time. It might have been down, but he's just going to fall.
Yep, he is going to go down, and he is going to have to pop his revive for that. It looks like Destro is going to react to this and try to send someone bot to help, but yeah, they're backing right off. They know that team fight is about to happen. The level 6s are coming out for people. We're going to see ultimates dropping here.
We have a Parker throwing out the first one, and it's followed by Solar Flare and the Brand ult that's going to bring everybody in the backline very, very low. We see Bebepop is going to be the first one to fall. Brown Bruiser is going to pick up Stormfallen on the back end, and we see a Parker is just going to manage to get out of there, and it's just going to be a 1-for-1 at the end of the day, and we see the fight still going on. GG Dennis Bruiser going to go on the Hafe, but Cyclone was saved, and it looks like that Hafe and Brown Bruiser are going to pick up 2 more. So it's going to be a 1-for-3 at the end of the day.
Yep, and they do have a very low health Zinchao here. Best option is just to go B. Very nicely done by Gander. Trying to fight this right now would be slightly suicide, so he doesn't want to waste that. Does give him the little bit of extra gold. Just going to head B, buy up, get ready for the next fight.
We had Double Lift taking down Wolfer again in the bot lane. Wolfer finally finishing his Seeker's Arm Guard, but it's just not enough to fight this Jack, who opted for a very, very early Sheen.
Yeah, he's just going heavy into the I'm going to hit you. Normally when you want to play a bit more defensively and safe, you pick up that Phage first. But getting that Sheen, he's saying, I'm going full damage, I'm not scared of you. Let's do this.
Very important. Sheen gives you a lot of extra damage on trading. Generally the harass for Jackson lane is to auto creep 2 times, hit his Empower, and then auto attack you to get an incredible amount of extra magic damage, and it gets that Sheen proc as well. So it's around 500 damage-ish in the early game that just comes down on you before mitigation, and it hits you very, very hard.
It's a very good amount of burst just for, I'm going to jump on you and then walk away. And Jarvan going in, they do have the Morg locked down, Black Shield coming across, but don't think that's going to save her.
Now, Double Lift did get an inkling that he was going to get the Goonscott sent at him, but he moved out of the brush slightly too soon, and he didn't see the Bebepop and Hayfarted coming down as the pause comes out.
And the pause does come out. So what just happened there, really quick, Destro had the team fight going on up top. They found 2 out. I think, pretty sure, yep, they did get down Parkhurst on that Morgana. He popped his revive to come out and try and defend this, but in the meantime, Clueless did send the 3-man nerd train bot lane.
The thorough nerding was happening that day.
There was much nerding going on in that bot lane right there. That was dangerous. Dangerous levels of nerd.
So we do see a lot of different items. We see Jax going Sheen into Mercury Treads. It's very, very interesting. I would have thought that they would have opted to just go into Phage and stay on that Boots 1, but wants a little bit of MR so he doesn't get dunked by this Diana so hard, and it also helps him against the gank from the CC that Bebepop puts out. We do see a Parker's opting to blow a revive, which is going to ward off Cerseo and Dens from attacking their midpoint. We have Stormfallen making the rotation down the bot lane, but should have been with his team at mid to push 3v2 because there's nothing that he can do down here against the 3 members of Clueless.
And they're looking for a gank right here, and ooh, that is going to be a caught out, incredibly squishy Zinchao. He is going to die, as well as the Nerd Squad working their way up to mid, taking out the Brand.
And overall, this is just Clueless out-rotating on the map, and Parker hitting a very, very good bind on a very squishy Zinzao. His bind is being maxed first, so it does get the duration increase on the CC, as well as the raw damage of the ability going up to monstrous proportions. It hits for 300 damage right now, and he is only level 8, and it's at rank 4.
Jeez, that is quite a bit of base damage there, and you know he's already packing those penetration runes and penetration mastery, so it is dealing almost close to what could be true damage. I think he's already got those Sork boots, yeah. He might be working on a Guise next.
A simple QW more combo does take Brand to half health. at this stage in the game, but he is being very up close and personal right now. As we do see Ro4 coming up from the bot lane, he's going to initiate on Stormfall, and Stormfall is going to go down. Bibopop's going to go in spider form, but Gandair's ult is going to push Bibopop out, making sure that the single kill on to Ro4 can go down, and Bibopop is also going to fall, so that's going to be a 1-for-2 in favor of Destro.
Yeah, it was kind of a sloppy initiate there. Parker's walked away to get the Storm Relic. I don't know. I didn't see where the Wukong was.
We see Cercio playing games with Half-Hearted, posturing like he has his team coming from the jungle. Clueless is not going to respect it at all, and Cercio is going to go down.
Yeah, it's kind of a risky play. I mean, if his team was there, it would have been a great idea, but the team wasn't, so they weren't able to follow up on anything there. It would have been great because they would have been so dead set on the Morg as they're, or on the Leona as they're walking up. Just walk right behind him and clean him up. But he did not have his team there. All he had was a Jarvan to back him up.
You know, it's a 50-50 mind game. They either respect you or you don't, and they didn't, and he lost. Now we see Hafe being crazy, jumping in, trying to get a Black Shield. Black Shield is not currently level, but they are going to get Storm falling off of it. Dens does not have too much damage on his Jarvan, so he's not really a jet. They're just going to chase him off and clean him up. Yep. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we had Gandair coming down with DG double lift to get another kill on Ro4. Ro4 going to pop revive in. Hafe is going to make the rotation down the bot lane to make sure that double lift does not get this point.
Very nicely done getting that revive. Hafe was there to back it up just in case. I don't know, is Ro4 going to fight this? He actually is. Barrier coming out. But there's a wild Half-Hearted, so they are going to be able to clean that up. And in the meantime, they did win that fight in the mid lane, so that is going to be a 4-cap now for Clueless.
It's unfortunate that Cercio keeps finding himself in a position where he's not with his team. Solo Leona is not very strong at all, as we see Stormfall and getting caught again with not the most optimal positioning. Dens is going to manage to pick up a return tail along with Gandair, so they are going to, at the end of the day, probably go 2-for-3. If Parkers can pick this up.
Can he land the binding? Can he get the mind games? No, he's just going to walk away. Oh.
Parkers with the double take. Didn't think Gandair would have the audacity to walk out at him like that after throwing his pull down. He just wanted to stop a recall, but we do see Cercio again by himself. His team slowly coming over. Haste is going to opt to hop out. Exhaust is going to be blown. Bind hits, and disengage is done.
Very nicely done. Getting an exhaust for that.
However, all of Clueless seems to be bottom lane, so if Hafe makes the wrong turn, no, he is going to opt to go left, so he should be good to go. Just kidding, Cercio is going to chase, gets the solar flare. Stealth comes out, next jump. Will Hafe go down? One more stealth. It looks like he might be able to get away, but they are being very insistent upon getting him. Meanwhile,
Zenith
bottom
is up. Oh, he is going to be able to take him out. That's Solo Leona.
Turns and kills the Leona. And in the bot lane, we saw double lift going down again. He popped revive, coming back. He is going to die one more time. Parker's going to flash to the soul tackle to not fall to Gandair, and Stormfall is going to come around. And he's not going to be able to pick anybody up, or so it seems. Bibopop is going to try to chase him down. Opts to back off when Cercio comes around because Leona's very scary. Gandair pops off the revive, so these two people are probably going to get cleaned up. Bibopop is going to get the kill, however, on Stormfall, and Gandair is going to ult and, however, get the return double kill, and is barely going to live.
Just barely. And it looks like they're trying to go into Dens here. They are going to very easily be able to take him out. That is a Kha'Zix. I have to say, in that last fight, an incredible play by Parkhurst was after the Soul Shackles killed the first target, or someone killed the first target, he flashed away from the Xin Shao and just stayed right within range of the Soul Shackle reach to stun and finish him off. That was very, very well played.
Well, Parker's with the blind into the bush, manages to catch Cercio, blows Black Shields, only rank 1, so it doesn't actually hold up for anything currently. I think he might have opted. He's gone full damage, so he is doing his job there, but that Black Shield is not to be relied upon, so I can see why Half-Hearted opted to get his spends at the end of the day.
Yes, that is not very much damage being negated in the fight coming out.
Their entire team just walking into the Wukong cyclone. Wukong not going to, however, be able to make it out, but it looks like it's going to at least be a 3-for-1, if not a 4-for-1 in Clueless' favor.
And there's that 4-for-1.
The whiff Jarvan combo into the bind is just not useful at all. This Jarvan build is also fairly suboptimal. There's nothing that you do well with this build except die, unfortunately. You don't have enough damage to be a threat. You don't have enough tank to tank against the amount of damage that comes out from Clueless because it is absolutely immense. And if you don't get a good initiation down on them, they're just going to get a good return one on you. You see Exhaust being thrown onto the Jarvan. He's just going to get closed upon, and he's going to die. Gander comes in. Smelt gets some good resistances, but he's going to be the next focus target as we see Soul Shackles who's going to come out. Block Celestial down with the Spine, and they're all going to manage to live on low health with the trade tanking and the bad focus coming out from Destro. And that will be an ace as Ro4 manages to finally beat the Jax in the bot lane.
So Clueless just brought it right back, and you had that amazing team fight. The whole team got back up and came back out, and Clueless said, nah, we're still winning this. And Ro4's finally hitting that point in his items where, you know, he's got that Wooglitz, so he can time out the stun, he can get in there with that extra AP and start getting that good penetration.
Red team has
So
captured the drill.
that Diana is starting to scale up a little bit and get really scary.
This is what happens when you don't opt to go Merc Trade. When you opt to go Merc Trades instead of going for the later game investment of Hex Drinker into Maul of Malmorty as Jax versus an AP lane. And
Yeah.
we see Bebepop coming down with the rotation with Ro4, so DG Double Lift is going to be going down. We already see Destro making the rotation that compensates for him being dead, but they don't seem to be giving up on their windmill push, which is probably going to be the death of a lot of them.
Yeah, they're gonna try to push this windmill here. It is only a 4v3, but yeah, they are very split, not together, not grouped, so that is going to cost them their brand. Jarvan's about to go down as well.
It's just going to be a wash in Clueless' favor as we see the Kha'Zix finally hip lady happening over all the rest of the team, and it looks like it's going to be a solid 5 cap for the end of this game.
Yep,
Clueless one game up over Destro.
So we do have a game 2 right after this, and we'll see how Destro decides to switch up their plan a little bit. They had it going good at the very beginning. You know, they got some good map control, they had the good pressure, and then they just kind of started to fall apart. They weren't playing together, they were missing a lot of their spells.
It really came down to not having very good vision in the jungle. Because they didn't have any good vision in the jungle, and because they wanted their Jarvan to be the lead-off initiator instead of the Leona in most cases, they weren't able to chain their CC properly, and as a result, they just got cleaned up because of it.
Yep. Alright. Let's check out our endgame stat screen real quick, and then we'll get into our next lobby and get this game rocking as fast as we can for you guys. Checking at the endgame stats, let's check our damage dealt, and Wukong bringing it in. Haven't been seeing a lot of play lately, because he's been consistently, or, well, nerfed a few times. But, wow, Brown Bruiser just bringing the damage, getting that pen build, getting Lucidity, and then trying to go for that full tank so he can just stay alive and use his Shred, help out Kha'Zix, and paid off quite well. Got that 18k damage, at least bringing it in number 2. And looking good across the board. Alright, we are going to get our next lobby set up, and we'll be right back with a very, very short commercial break for you guys. Hang on just a second.